Daniel Rowe was not special. He was an average human cadet at the Interstellar Academy, a giant space station where young people from different planets trained to become peacekeepers, explorers, or engineers. The academy was full of aliens with bright skin, long arms, or eyes that could see heat. Humans were just one of many species there. Most of the time, they were not the best at anything. Daniel had joined the academy with big dreams. He wanted to fly great ships and explore strange worlds. But after 2 years, he was still near the bottom of every class. He wasn't fast, strong, or clever. His teachers liked him, but they didn't expect much from him. Other cadets didn't tease him, they just ignored him. One cold morning, Daniel walked into the medical center for his flu shot. Every cadet had to get one before winter drills started. The line was long. Some alien cadets had special needs, so they took more time. Daniel waited quietly, holding a small form with his name and ID number. Finally, a human nurse called him. And she was new. Daniel had never seen her before. "Cadet Rowe?" she asked, looking at a screen. "Yes," he said, sitting down. She smiled kindly. "Don't worry, just a flu shot. It won't hurt." Daniel nodded. He had taken many injections before. This was nothing new. The nurse prepared the shot. Daniel looked away as the needle entered his arm. Stung a little, but only for a second. "All done," she said. "You're good to go." Daniel stood up and rolled down his sleeve. "Thanks," he said, ready to leave. But then the nurse looked at him with a strange smile. "Some shots do more than people expect," she said quietly. Daniel turned around. "What do you mean?" But the nurse was already cleaning her tools and didn't answer. Daniel left the room, a little confused but not worried. That night, Daniel felt warm. Not sick, just warm. His body was buzzing. Drank water, rested, and thought it would pass. But the next morning, something strange happened. His academy uniform felt tighter than usual. His arms looked a little bigger. His vision was sharp, so sharp that he could see small writing on a faraway screen. He blinked. Was he imagining things? In training that day, Daniel surprised himself. During fitness drills, he ran faster than he ever had. He climbed the wall with ease. He beat the time record for his group. The instructor, Commander Helen, raised an eyebrow. "Good work, Rowe. Finally taking your training seriously." Daniel smiled shyly. "I guess I just had a good night." Each day after that, Daniel changed. More, he no longer felt tired after training. He could do complex math in his head. In flight simulations, he dodged lasers that only top cadets could avoid. Even his memory improved. He could remember whole pages from his textbooks after reading them once. Other cadets started noticing. A human girl named Tasha asked him, "Hey, did you get a new workout plan or something?" "No," Daniel said. "Honestly, I just feel better these days." Some didn't believe him. A tall alien with orange skin, Valrak whispered to others, "He's taking something. No way he got this good so fast." Daniel didn't know how to explain. He hadn't taken anything, at least not on purpose. But the nurse, the one who gave him the shot, what had she meant? Daniel went back to the medical center. He asked to see her, but the staff told him there was no nurse by that name on record. He tried to describe her short black hair, calm voice, warm smile, but no one recognized her. "Are you sure?" he asked. "Yes," the lead medic replied. "That person doesn't work here." Out. Daniel left the center, even more confused. Weeks passed. His senses stayed sharp. But something else changed too. In classes, Daniel began asking smarter questions. He noticed small mistakes in training programs. During a space navigation exam, found a new path through a dangerous asteroid field. Even the instructors had never thought of it. "You solved that without AI help?" asked Instructor Fenn, amazed. Daniel nodded. He didn't know how he did it. It just felt natural. Still, he tried to stay quiet. He didn't want attention. He didn't want trouble, but trouble came anyway. The Academy's upper officers began reviewing his progress. His test scores were too high. His performance too perfect. They called him in for a full health scan. The doctors found nothing wrong, but they also found something strange. His muscles were 30% denser than normal. His reaction time was faster than any recorded human cadet. His blood carried strange markers. Not found in any medical file, they kept asking questions. Daniel had no answers. I just got a flu shot. He said again and again. No one believed him. Meanwhile, his uniform no longer fit. His arms were too wide. His shoulders had grown. He had to request a larger size, and even that was snug. One evening, Daniel sat in the training field alone, looking up at the stars. The stars didn't care how strong or fast he was. They had always been there, silent, beautiful, and far. "What is happening to me?" he whispered. Behind him, a soft voice replied, "You're becoming what you were meant to be." Daniel turned quickly. The nurse stood there, just as he remembered. No one else was around. "You," he said. "Where did you go? What did you give me?" She smiled gently. "Not what?" "Who?" "I didn't give you anything new. I just woke up." "What was already inside you?" Daniel stepped closer. "Why?" "Because humans have more potential than they know," she said. "They just need someone to believe in them, even when they don't believe in themselves." Then she stepped. Back end vanished into the shadows. Daniel ran forward, but she was gone. That night, Daniel didn't sleep much. But for the first time, he didn't feel worried. He felt ready. Something big was coming. He could feel it. And this time, he wouldn't be the one falling behind. He was becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone who didn't fit the old uniform anymore. Daniel Rowe was no longer just another cadet. He had become a mystery, not only to others, but also to himself. His body, his mind, and even the way he moved had changed. In just a few weeks, he had gone from average to extraordinary. Everyone in the Interstellar Academy had noticed. Some cadets admired him. Others became suspicious. In the cafeteria, whispers followed him. Aliens and humans alike stared as he passed. "That's him," someone said quietly. "He was weak last month. Now he's faster than the trainers. He's hiding something." Daniel heard it all, but he stayed quiet. He wasn't trying to become famous. He didn't ask for this. All he wanted was to do better, and now he was better, maybe too much. During combat training, he moved faster than the academy bots. During science class, he answered questions before the teachers finished asking them. During a space mission simulation, he found a new way to dock a ship using less energy, and no one had ever done that before. Some of the senior cadets complained. "He's cheating," said Velrak, the orange-skinned alien cadet. "No human gets this good so fast." They filed a report to the Academy Council. The council decided to investigate. Daniel was called into the main office one afternoon, inside. A round table held for high-ranking officers to humans, one blue-skinned alien, and a silver-eyed robot. They sat with serious faces. "Cadet Rowe," one officer began. "Your performance has greatly improved in a very short time. We need to understand how." Daniel sat straight. "I just feel different lately. Stronger, faster, but I didn't." "Do anything illegal?" The robot officer tapped on the table. A screen appeared, showing Daniel's past and current test scores. "You broke 7 records in 2 weeks," the robot said. "That is unusual." "I know," Daniel replied. "I'm surprised, too. Have you taken any supplements, enhancers, modifications?" "No," Daniel said. "No," Daniel said. "I only had a flu shot last month. That's all." The room fell silent. "Do you know who gave you that injection?" asked the human officer. "Yes," Daniel said. "A nurse. A woman. She said it was just a flu shot. But then she said some shots do more than expected." The officers looked at each other. "There's no record of that nurse working here." The alien said calmly, "We've checked." Daniel frowned. She was real. I spoke to her twice. The human officer leaned forward. "Daniel, you're not in trouble. But if you're part of some secret program, we must know. It could affect everyone at the academy." "I'm not part of anything," Daniel replied firmly. "I didn't plan this." They let him go, but the questions didn't stop. Later that week, Daniel was sent for another full body scan. The doctors checked everything: muscles, blood, brain activity. The results were strange. His body looked human, but stronger, faster, and more efficient. His brain showed signs of advanced neural activity. but they couldn't explain why. "It's like you were upgraded," the head doctor said. Naturally, as if something inside you unlocked itself. Daniel said nothing. He remembered the nurse's words. She didn't give him something new. She woke up what was already there. At night, Daniel began reading old files in the Academy library. Files about human evolution, secret science projects, ancient Earth research. He found something called Project HELIX, but most of the information was locked. He tried accessing the files, but his ID didn't have permission. Still, the name stuck in his mind. Helix, he whispered to himself. What is it? Meanwhile, the cadets began acting differently. Some started following him during training. A few asked for help. Even Velrak, who once accused him of cheating, now watched with quiet respect. You see patterns no one else sees, Velrak told him during a group drill. It's like you feel what's going to happen before it happens. Daniel shrugged. I just react. But deep inside, he knew it was more than that. He could predict moves before they were made. He could guess problems before they appeared. It was like his brain worked faster than time. One day, during a mission simulation, Daniel saved the team from failure. The task was to land a virtual ship on a spinning asteroid. The asteroid's gravity shifted every 10 seconds. 3 cadets had already crashed. When it was Daniel's turn, he adjusted the controls in ways no one taught him. He let the ship glide sideways, then flipped the boosters in reverse at the exact second. The ship landed gently. The room went silent. Even the instructor stared. How did you know to do that? She asked. I didn't, Daniel said. Oh, just felt it. After that, more cadets came to him, not because they were forced, but because they wanted to learn. Daniel became a quiet leader. He didn't shout orders. He just gave calm advice. It always worked. But not everyone was happy. The Academy's security division began tracking his movements. His name showed up in reports. People whispered about monitoring the enhanced cadet. Daniel walked back from the training dome. A message appeared on his wristband. Helix equals hope. Look deeper. It had no sender. He stopped in his tracks. Who sent this? Was it the nurse? Was she watching him? The next morning, he woke up to a surprise. His new uniform, already tight, had been replaced with an even larger one custom-made. A note was attached. When the old doesn't fit, it's time for something new. Keep going. No name, just that message. Daniel smiled. He wore the new uniform with pride. It was a perfect fit for now. He still didn't know what was happening. He didn't know who the nurse was or what Project Helix truly meant. But one thing was clear. He was not like the others anymore. And he wasn't afraid. Daniel Rowe was now a name everyone knew. He was not the same cadet who used to struggle during training. He was faster, smarter, and stronger. His body had changed. His mind had changed. Even his instincts had changed. Was his curiosity. He wanted answers. He needed to know what was happening to him and why. Every night, after his classes and training, Daniel spent time in the Academy library. The library had digital files, books, and records from Earth and other planets. Most cadets used it for homework. Daniel was looking for something different. He searched for anything about strange human upgrades, medical experiments, or secret science projects. He kept finding the same name again and again. Project HELIX. But all files about Helix were locked. Even when he tried to use a teacher's terminal, the system denied him access. Access denied. Level 7 clearance required. Daniel sighed. He sat back in his chair, frustrated. Why is this hidden? Then something strange happened. As he closed the screen, a new window popped up on the display. It was a message. No name, no title. Helix never ended. It was just hidden. You are not the first. You are the first to survive it. Daniel froze. He looked around the empty library. No one was near. No one else had touched the terminal. Who's sending this? He whispered. Then a second message appeared. Find room 314 in the old wing. Tonight, midnight. And then the screen went black. Daniel had never been to the old wing. That part of the academy was closed years ago after a lab accident.
Some
Said it was unsafe. Others said it was haunted. Most cadets stayed away, but Daniel didn't hesitate. At midnight, dressed in his training suit, he made his way through quiet halls and empty classrooms. The lights flickered in the old wing.
Dust
Covered the floors. Most doors were locked or broken. He found room 314. The door was half open. He stepped inside. It was dark, but the room was full of old machines, screens, and glass tubes. Strange symbols covered the walls. In the center stood a large screen with one word: Welcome. Subject 9. Daniel's heart pounded. Subject 9? He said softly. There were others? Suddenly, the screen lit up and began showing videos. A voice comm. Female spoke in the background. This is Project Helix, the voice said. A human upgrade program designed to unlock hidden abilities. In the human body, strength, speed, memory, reflexes, all enhanced. Not through machines, not through chemicals. Through your own DNA. Daniel watched in silence. The video showed people training, running fast, lifting heavy weights, solving problems faster than computers. Then the voice changed. Out of 12 subjects, 8 failed. 3 showed slow progress. Only 1 showed full activation. Subject 9. The video ended. Daniel stood still. That's me, he whispered. You woke it up. He turned around. The nurse was there again. Same calm face, the same soft eyes, same quiet smile. You're part of Project Helix, Daniel said. She nodded. I was one of the lead researchers, she said. But the project was shut down. People were scared of what humans could become, so they hid it, buried it. They told the galaxy we weren't ready. But you kept going? He asked. She smiled. I believed someone would come along, someone strong enough to carry it forward. Why me? Because you were kind, you were honest, and you never gave up, even when you were weak. Power without heart is dangerous, but power with heart, that can change everything. Daniel didn't know what to say. What do I do now? He asked. Keep training, keep learning. But be careful, she said. Others will try to stop you. Some fear what you are becoming. With that, she handed him a small data chip. Keep this safe, she said. It contains everything. The truth about Helix, the reason it was buried, the plans they didn't want anyone to see. Then, just like before, she disappeared into the shadows. Daniel stood alone in room 314, holding the chip tightly. The next morning, the academy felt different. The teachers smiled at him, but their eyes looked worried. Security bots passed by him. More often, even some cadets, the ones he had helped before, were suddenly distant. Something had changed. Daniel uploaded the chip data to his personal tablet. The files were protected by a special code. But when he touched the screen, it opened by itself. Inside were documents, blueprints, and reports. He read one line that made him stop. Project Helix was not just to enhance humans, it was to prepare them for leadership among the stars. Daniel understood now. This wasn't about being faster or stronger. It was about proving that humans could stand equal to the best alien species in the galaxy, maybe even lead them. The galaxy didn't expect that. Maybe it didn't want that. But it was happening now. The Academy Council soon called a surprise meeting. All cadets were told to attend in the Great Hall. The headmaster stepped forward. We have received reports of unauthorized enhancements, she said. Any cadet found using illegal upgrades will be removed from the academy. Some cadets looked at Daniel. A few stared. He didn't speak. He didn't move. Later in the hallway, a young cadet named Lyra walked beside him. I don't believe them, she said. I think you're just special. Daniel smiled. I didn't ask for this, but now I have it. I won't waste it. Will you tell them the truth? Not yet, he said. They're not ready. Daniel knew things were changing. People were watching. Tests were coming. He didn't know who he could trust. But he knew one thing for sure. He couldn't go back to being normal. He had a path now, and he would walk it. Daniel Rowe now knew the truth. Project Helix was real. He was Subject 9, the only one who had fully unlocked his hidden human potential. The data chip given by the mysterious nurse contained everything: test results, theories, and even secret Academy notes. And most shocking of all, the project wasn't made to turn humans into weapons. It was made to prepare them for leadership. Now Daniel understood why people were nervous. The galaxy had always seen humans as clever and brave, but never as the strongest, fastest, or most advanced. With Helix, that was changing, and not everyone liked that. Soon after the headmaster's warning about unauthorized enhancements, Daniel began to feel more pressure. Surveillance bots followed him more closely. Officers whispered when he passed. His instructors started giving him special tests, ones not given to other cadets. These tests were strange. One day, he was put into a simulation chamber with no instructions. He stood inside a room filled with bright light, puzzles, and floating shapes. A voice said only one thing: solve the room. You have 10 minutes. Daniel looked around. He didn't panic. He stayed calm. His mind worked quickly. He saw symbols on the walls, some glowing, some dim. He noticed the floating shapes, made small movements. He stepped back and watched. Then he smiled. It was a pattern, and under 3 minutes, Daniel moved the shapes into the correct order and unlocked the door. The voice came again. Test complete. No errors. No delays. Later that day, Instructor Fenn called him into her office. You passed the mental exam faster than any cadet on record, she said. Even faster than the artificial minds we train? Daniel stayed silent. Fenn looked at him carefully. You are changing, Daniel. It's not just your body. Your thoughts, your decisions, your instincts. Are you afraid? Daniel thought for a moment. No, I'm not afraid. But I know others are. Fenn didn't answer. She only nodded slowly and let him go. But Daniel wasn't the only one being tested. One morning, the entire academy received a message. The Gauntlet Challenge would return. The Gauntlet was a legendary test. It was used only once every 10 years. Cadets from all species competed in a series of tasks: strength, mind, leadership, teamwork, and survival. It was the hardest test in the academy, and no one had ever passed all 5 stages. This time, something was different. The Gauntlet was made optional, but everyone knew it was meant for one person: Daniel Rowe. Whispers spread through the dorm halls. He has to do it. They're testing his limits. They want him to fail. Daniel sat quietly at his table as others spoke around him. He didn't say a word. That night, his wristband flashed. A new message. They are watching the Gauntlet. They want to see if the Helix cadet can break. Daniel replied only 2 words: let them. The day of the Gauntlet arrived. Thousands of cadets gathered in the viewing dome. The arena was huge, full of moving floors, walls, lights, machines, and hidden challenges. The council sat above, watching closely. Daniel stepped onto the floor. He wore a black training suit. His eyes scanned the arena, felt calm, focused, and ready. The voice of the main judge echoed through the dome. Cadet Daniel Rowe, you have entered the Gauntlet. Complete all 5 stages. You may begin. Stage 1. Balance and speed. The floor changed. Platforms rose and fell. Walls spun. Daniel ran forward. He leaped between moving blocks, ducked under swinging arms, and balanced across narrow beams. He never fell. He moved like water, smooth and fast. He reached the end in 2 minutes. The crowd gasped. Stage 2. Logic and memory. The room filled with lights and numbers. A voice read a list of symbols, shapes, and sounds. Daniel had to repeat them backward, then solve a color puzzle while repeating the list again. He did it without blinking. The judge paused. Correct. Stage 3. Physical strength. Daniel faced a gravity zone. The gravity increased every 10 seconds. He had to lift metal blocks and stack them into a shape before the weight became too strong. Others had failed here. Daniel kept going. His hands shook slightly, but he smiled. He completed the task just as the timer reached 0. Stage 4. Team simulation. This was the hardest part. Daniel entered a fake mission with 5 virtual teammates, humans and aliens. They had to escape a burning ship. Each avatar had different skills and weaknesses. Daniel took the lead. He gave clear commands. He helped the alien medic when she panicked. He used the human engineer to fix a broken control panel. When the door closed early, Daniel risked his own score to push the others through. In the end, the mission was a success. All 5 virtual teammates made it. The judge looked surprised. No one has ever saved all 5 before. Stage 5. Unknown. The final stage was always a mystery. Daniel walked into a quiet room. Nothing moved. Then, a screen lit up with a question. Why do you want to win? Daniel stared at the words. He took a breath. Then he answered, I don't want to win. I want to grow. I want to show what humans can be, not because we're better, but because we're ready. Ready to stand beside others. Ready to lead with care, not control. The room went silent. Then a soft voice spoke. Test complete. Subject passed. Fully. Daniel stepped out of the gauntlet. The entire dome stood and clapped. Even some council members rose, but not all were pleased. Later that night, a private meeting took place. He's growing too fast. The Helix program must be stopped or controlled. Daniel didn't hear those voices, but he felt the change. The next morning, he received a message. Not on his wristband, not on his tablet. It was a small card, slipped under his door. They won't stop you, but they might try. Be ready, Kay. He folded the card and placed it in his jacket pocket. He knew what was coming, not just more tests, but a choice. Would he stay quiet, or would he step forward and show the galaxy what humanity could become? Daniel was ready, and he would not back down. Daniel Rowe had passed the gauntlet. Not just passed, it was the best result the Interstellar Academy had ever seen. He completed all 5 stages, solved every problem, and led his team to full success. The other cadets cheered. The instructors nodded with respect. Even the alien students whispered his name with new admiration, but not everyone was happy. Behind closed doors, in high-level meetings, the Academy Council spoke in low voices. Some leaders were worried. Others were afraid. He is too advanced, one said. It's more than just a student now, said another. What happens if the galaxy sees this as a threat? There were no clear answers, but there were quiet plans. Daniel felt the change in the air. People treated him differently. Some smiled too much. Some avoided eye contact. His schedule changed without warning. He was given more special tests, more private meetings. One evening, he was called into a quiet room by a senior officer named Admiral Wren. Wren was known for being calm and careful. He had served in many parts of the galaxy. His words always carried weight. Cadet Rowe, Wren said, looking directly at Daniel, you are no longer just a cadet. Daniel sat silently. You have become a symbol, Wren continued. People talk about you on other planets. Some are amazed. Some are uncomfortable. Daniel nodded slowly. I didn't ask to be a symbol. Wren leaned forward. No, but symbols don't get to choose. You're the product of something that was supposed to stay secret. Project Helix. Yes, Wren said. We know now that the nurse who gave you the injection was part of the original Helix team. She disappeared from records 10 years ago. She found me, Daniel said, not by mistake. Wren paused. You need to understand something, Daniel. If this becomes public, the galaxy may react in fear. Some species already feel nervous about human growth. This could make it worse. So what do you want me to do? Daniel asked. We want you to step down. Quietly, Wren said. No more tests, no more leadership. You'll stay at the academy, but in the background. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood up. No, he said calmly. Wren raised an eyebrow. No. Daniel spoke clearly. I didn't break the rules. I didn't cheat. I grew. I trained. I used what was already inside me. Can't ask me to hide that. Ren looked serious. And what if others begin to follow your path? Then we help them, Daniel replied. We guide them. We don't lock the doors. We open them. Ren sighed. You're braver than most. Daniel nodded because someone believed in me first. That nurse. She gave me the chance. Now, it's my turn to do the same for others. News of Daniel's stand spread quickly. Cadets began sending him messages. You're right, don't give up. You inspired me to try harder. Even alien students who had once doubted him now showed quiet support. The academy couldn't hide his success anymore. And then something unexpected happened. A group of alien leaders from the Galactic Unity Council came to visit the academy. These leaders were from different planets Stahl. Short, blue, green, soft-skinned, metal-skinned. They had heard of Daniel's achievements. They wanted to see for themselves. Daniel stood before them in the academy dome. He didn't wear a special uniform or a badge. He just stood tall, calm, and honest. One of the alien leaders, an old creature with 4 eyes and a slow voice, asked, What are you, human? Daniel answered simply, I am proof that we haven't reached the limit yet. Not as humans, not as a galaxy. Another leader asked, Do you believe humans should lead? Daniel shook his head. No, I believe we should all rise together. But someone has to take the first step. I was given a chance to become Morand. I did. Now I want to use that to help others, not control them. The hall was silent for a moment. Then the 4-eyed leader nodded slowly. This human speaks not only with strength, he said, but with heart. Soon after, the academy made an announcement. Project Helix would be reopened not as a secret experiment, but as an official research program. It would be led by humans and aliens together. It would be safe, ethical, and open to volunteers. Daniel was asked to be the first official guide for the new program. He accepted. But before that, he had one final thing to do. He went back to the old wing, to room 314. It was empty now. Dust covered the machines. The lights were off, but on the table. Someone had left a note. You didn't just pass. It proved we were right to believe. K. Daniel smiled. He folded the note and placed it next to the original data chip. Then he left the room. Weeks passed. Daniel helped train new cadets, human and alien, who wanted to unlock their hidden strengths. The program grew slowly, but safely. It was no longer about power. It was about growth, teamwork, and hope. One day, while walking through the academy gardens, a young cadet stopped him. Sir, is it true you used to be the weakest student? Daniel laughed. Yes, very. True, but now you're the strongest? I don't think of it that way, Daniel said. I'm just someone who got a second chance. And I used it? The cadet smiled. I hope I can be like you someday. Daniel looked up at the stars. He thought about his journey, the injection, the changes, the fear, the gauntlet, the questions, the choices. You'll be better, he said, and somewhere, far from the academy, in a quiet place beyond the stars. Nurse Kara watched the screen with a smile. He made it, she said softly, and now so will others. Because one flu shot, given with faith, had changed the future. Not just for one human, but for the whole galaxy.